Say what? Look, what do you do when a girl asks you this question? Especially when you just finished having sex with her. Very few minutes after the sex, then she goes like, what are we now? Welcome to the show. My name is Jay Foley. Of course, don't forget, subscribe to my channel. It's Jay Foley on TV. Hit the notification button as well, so anytime I put a post up here, you can get notified. Well, that big question that girls like asking, especially when they finish having sex with a guy that even they just met. When they haven't built enough friendship or a long-lasting relationship with the person to understand the person, know the person very well, a guy and a girl get intimate after having sex, then the next few seconds or next few minutes when they're both lying apart each other, then that big question comes, what are we? She's asking. Well, today I want to tell you 3 best ways for a guy to handle this particular situation you just might find yourself in. Now, this doesn't go for everyone, but however, it can go for a lot of people. Now, girls or women, this isn't to say that we're finding ways to sneak around when that question comes, but it's just a way that both people can find a balance for each other to be able to understand themselves, so nobody leaves hurt or nobody leaves the room with regret, or nobody leaves feeling like, you know what, I didn't communicate well to the partner of some sort. So it might work for some people, it might work for other people, it might not work for some people, it might not work for other people. So just understand this, okay? Now, when a girl asks that question, what are we now after sex? Guys, it is a very legitimate question that she's asked. Now, usually, if a woman goes into having sex with a guy, it's just a way of her confirming her affection for the guy. But for the guy, usually, it's just sex, right? Usually. I may be wrong and I stand corrected, but usually it's just sex for the guy. But for the girl, it's not just sex. But how do you manage this? Today, I'll go through 3 very simple ways for both parties to benefit off this. Number 1. Know her expectations. Now, you see, before the girl is even asking you that question, she sets certain things in her mind. She's hoping to get certain answers from you. What are we now? She's actually asking you, are we dating? I think we are dating, or we should be dating, or I hope it's not just sex and you're leaving. She's coming across with some answers before she's even asking you that question. But for a guy, you can't assume or even know exactly what she's thinking. So number 1, know her expectations. How'd you go about this? Put the same question back to her, but in a different way. Ask her, how do you feel about us? Allow her to tell you what's on her mind and what's on her heart. Because once you do understand where she's coming from, it's the best way to know what kind of responses to give her. So know her expectations. Number 2, after knowing her expectations, now you can manage her emotions. It's always good for the two of you to build good friendship. Good friendship is always the basis for a good foundation for a relationship, for a strong relationship. Once the two of you know yourselves very well, you know how he is, you know his temperament, you know his likes, you know his dislikes, and vice versa. You know her temperaments, you know her likes, you know her dislikes, you know the things that get to her, you know the things that she'll love to. You understand her love language. Based on that, the two of you can build a good relationship. After having sex, that isn't the basis for good friendship. It's like the cloud has been lifted off the two of you. Now you are asking yourself real deep questions. But that's not bad. Present to the girl the fact that the two of you need to build good friendship. Maybe you've known her for a few days or a few weeks, but that isn't enough to build a good relationship because you want this to last. Maybe you are not in the same space as her, but of course you do share a certain connection and you're willing to make a commitment on this, because if you're not honest with her, for a woman, or most girls want honesty, they want you to tell them the truth. I may not be in the same space with you emotionally, but I'm willing to be in that space if we allow ourselves to get to know each other. You have my attention. I want this, you want this, but let's build a good friendship. It might not sound like the best answer for her at that minute, but trust me, later on, she will give you that respect for being very honest. Then number 3, keep the cuddle. You can have this conversation with a girl on phone after sex, or you can have the conversation with the girl in the same room whilst you are not together. Try and have this conversation when you are both close to each other, so you can hold her. Even if you don't mean it, just having that physical touch adds a certain level of value or adds a certain level of truth or honesty to what you're saying to the girl, because girls love to be held, girls love to be cuddled. So for you, a guy, try to avoid this question or answer this question when you are miles apart. Closeness, cuddle, hold, feel would send an extra warmth or honesty to the girl with what you're saying, even if you don't mean it. But please mean what you're saying.